and he used, with an odd twist, the language of Gothic romances. She was having her way with me, he explained, without my consent. But what was most remarkable about his confession was not his words, but his tone. He sounded sorry for himself, convinced that although he was alive and Jennifer dead, it was he who had somehow been the victim of the girl who now lay lifeless in the morgue. In the next few days, the killing in the park began to mesmerize New York. Here was flaming youth, and better yet, flaming rich youth. The girl and the boy involved in the tragedy had had all the advantages of being young, and all the privileges that money can buy, and yet in the late hours of a single summer night, they had lost everything. She was dead, he was in jail. And what had caused the tragedy? Sex, according to the headlines. In the prodigiousness of adolescent passion, newspaper accounts based on Robert's confession implied, the boy and girl had simply lost control. The story struck a chord with the public, reinforced popular beliefs, that having a good time is dangerous, that young people can't handle liquor and sex, and that the rich and the young are no better off than you and me, because look what happened to that pair. By the time Jennifer Levin had been dead a week, people throughout the city were discussing the case at their breakfast tables, on their coffee breaks, on supermarket lines. And at parties and dinners, the subject of what had actually happened between Jennifer and Robert was a principal topic of conversation. The media fed the public's obsession. What was quickly dubbed the Preppy murder became front page and top-of-the-hour news, and battalions of reporters marched forth to dig up any information, however peripheral, that would shed light on the principals and their circle of fun-loving, pampered city teenagers. The group's drinking, its drug use, its promiscuity, its extravagance, all were explored as if a new tribe, an anthropological phenomenon, had just been discovered. In the next 2 years, the Preppy killing became one of the most widely covered murder stories in New York's history. Yet still people wondered about it, for the story was haunting. It was particularly haunting to parents, who kept asking themselves if Robert and Jennifer could, but for the grace of God, have been their children. Part 1. Jennifer and Robert. 1. New Lives. In the late 1950s, a pale, skinny young Irish woman named Phyllis Shanley arrived in the United States, her mind ablaze with extravagant daydreams. She had been poor in Ireland, had grown up the eldest of 6 on a back-country farm in which the principal fuel for cooking, and even for fighting the omnipresent dampness, had been the peat her father and brothers chopped laboriously from bogs behind the house. She had escaped the farm, gone to Dublin to study nursing, learned in the city's dreary Victorian hospitals how to deliver babies for women who couldn't afford doctors, and how to care for poor sufferers from tuberculosis and other communicable diseases. But her experience and training had not brought her prosperity. Prosperity did not come easily in Ireland. America was another story. In this new country she might flourish, become anything she wanted to become. America was the land of opportunity, a place where what mattered was not what people had been in the past, but what they made of themselves once they were here. And if they made of themselves something worthy, their children and grandchildren might never know hard times, and might even, God willing, become rich and powerful. Even the children and grandchildren of Irish immigrants. By the time she arrived in the United States, people were saying the country might even have its first Irish Catholic president soon. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the junior senator from Massachusetts and a man but 3 generations removed from Ireland's hardships, was going to run for the office. Learning the ropes in her new country, Phyllis dreamed classic immigrants' dreams, imagining